Hey everyone, it's Lindsay from Perfectly Bookish 5, and these are my favorite reads of 2023. In January, my favorite read was How to Lose at Love by Sarah Nye. I received an ARC of this book. It is the first in the series. We are on a college campus, and our main male lead, he is a football player, and his agent, because he does have an agent already, he has other brothers and some of them are already playing professionally. His dad has played professionally, and to sharpen up his image, they want him to date a respectable girl. February, my favorite read was Hold On to Hope by A.L. Jackson. Our two main characters were dating and together when they were younger, and then up out of the blue, once they graduate, he moves away. And he is also deaf. That has part of the reason to do with why he moved away, but he doesn't tell anyone why. Then all of a sudden, one day he shows up back out of the blue, but he has a child with him. So it is really hard for our main female character to see him because they were so close and he gave her no explanation. But now there's this child and he just got the child himself. He is still clueless on what is going on. So there's a lot of trying to repair things from the past, but also trying to figure out what is going on with this new life that he has with a kid that he just found out about. In March, my favorite read was For Never by Aurora Rose Reynolds. This was an ARC that I read, and it is fake dating. The main characters work together, but then all of a sudden, our female main character finds out that she is going to be pretending to be engaged to her boss, and they go on this trip together where his family is. It is huge, and they have a lot of fun family planned events and competitions, and they end up growing close through this time together. In April, my favorite read was Made for Us by Natasha Madison. This book is part of her hockey world, so the two characters that we have seen a little bit in the other books in the series, and this time the family is going on a vacation, and a family friend, one of the hockey players, and his child are invited. He is a newer dad because he didn't know about this child, and our main female character, she's the daughter of I believe the hockey greats, and I think her brothers play as well. If I'm remembering correctly, this was back in April, and they already have a bond, especially she does with his child, and they grow closer together on this trip. And my favorite read was Fall of Rune and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this book I actually won. I was really excited about that. This is the first book in a new series for Jen, and there is a girl who has these intuitions that normally come out correct, and she is able to predict things no matter how good or bad they can be. One night she comes across someone who is being held prisoner, and it turns out he is a very important person. There is different things going on in this world, and different leaders and people trying to take charge, and some mysterious things going on as well in this book. In June, my favorite read was Poison Roses by Jamin Eve and Tate James. This is the first in the Boys of Belrose series, and we follow a band. Our main female character, she was once a girlfriend of one of the members, and a lot of songs are written about her. Stuff is happening in her life, and she ends up meeting up with the band again. This time she is getting together with one of the other bandmates, but there are some bad things going on in her life because of her now ex-boyfriend. Not the ex that was in the band, but a different ex because of who his family is involved with. She sees something that she shouldn't see, and the band is protecting her. In July, my favorite read was Never Never by Serena Valentino. This is, I'm not sure if it's the 8th book. It's further down, but in her villain series, we follow Captain Hook, and we get his life story from his childhood to find out why he became the person that he is. And it's kind of interesting because in this story, Peter Pan is a little villainous. My favorite read in August is The Vampires Will Save You by Rebecca F. Kenny. This was my first read by her. And the apocalypse has happened. Our main character was a teacher, but now she is a slave to some vampires. Vampires are the ones who are ruling right now, and she is a blood source for some of them and has to kind of do what they say. And there is an interesting relationship that starts between her and a vampire. September, my favorite read was Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I was very fortunate enough to win an arc of this story. This is her first adult novel. We have Kel, who is a sword catcher. A sword catcher is someone who looks like one of the members of royalty, and they step in for them during important events when there could be a possible threat. So Kel was pulled from his life at a very young age and raised in the castle to become the sword catcher for the Prince Connor, and he then really doesn't know anything else, but he has a little trouble identifying between who he really is and who he was made to be. And there's also someone in this book called Lancaster. She works in medicine, but being a woman, she is not held to high regards. She is looked down upon. She crosses paths with the prince and Kel when something goes wrong in the streets, and also the streets have a big part to play in this book as well. There is the Rag Picker King, and he has some secrets. He kind of controls the town and what's going on, and the king lets him deal with stuff in his way as long as it doesn't become a problem. But there are lots of secrets that are happening between the king, the Rag Picker King, and Kel, the prince, Lynn, and a lot of mystery to be solved. My favorite read in October was Broken Crown by Rachel Van Dyken. This is a next generation to the Eagle Elite series. This is their children, and in this story there is a forced marriage, and he actually hires her love interest to be her bodyguard. So she is in love with someone else, but she is forced to marry him. So hiring him on as bodyguard is a little different, but there are some different things that go on. They are the mob, and so there's a lot of crazy, and there's a lot of things to be dealt with, and I found it very interesting. In November, my favorite read was Fate of a Royal by Amo Jones and Megan Brandy. This is the first book that they wrote together for their new series. We have some magical beings. It is Knight and his brothers, and then we have Human London. They both go to different college universities. Their paths cross when their college hockey teams play against each other. London is able to see things that she shouldn't, being a human, and this really intrigues Knight, and he has a strange pull towards her, which he finds really weird because he shouldn't have a pull so strong towards a human. There's a lot of mystery going on in this book. You find out with London the different things about Knight and his brothers and who they really are. Then I'm not going to have a book to share with you for December, since December isn't over yet, but those are my favorite reads from January 2023 all the way up to November. I'll just mention really quick some honorable mentions. I'm looking down because I have my notebook in front of me. I did also like Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It was my first read by her. I enjoyed Dear Mothman, which is a younger novel. It deals a lot with mental health. Cupcake by Cookie O'Gorman. It's a cute story of teenagers during high school who get selected for homecoming court. I mentioned how in January my favorite read was How to Lose at Love by Sarah Nye. Well, I also enjoyed the sequel, How to Win the Girl. Catherine Cowles was a new to me author. I was going to say reader. She's an author this year, and I really enjoyed Beautifully Broken Life. Malice by Coralie Jude. She was a new to me author this year. I really enjoyed that one. It is dark. The Imperfects by Rachel Van Dyken. Best Frenemies by Max Monroe. That book was really fun. They go on vacation, they're teachers, and she doesn't like him. She thinks she is too loud. Their rooms are right next to each other, and she feels like she can't teach because of everything going on in his classroom. And they end up going on vacation during one of their breaks, and somehow they get stuck in the same room together. Just for Now by Abby Glines, and then Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, and Broken Dreams by Corinne Michaels. So those are some of my favorite reads from 2023. Let me know what is topping out at your 2023 reading list. Bye!